Welcome all to a new video. Today I will start with my process to draw the geometric mandala like the one I shared before. Although that I don't have regular process to follow because it depends from the drawing, and also many times that when I start with an idea that I end up with something different. But this will summarize some of the steps are common from what I am using overall, especially when I start. First of all, I would like to say that I prefer to use square sketchbook. This is Moleskine sketchbook. I prefer the size to be larger than this one, but so far I like this one because I don't like any texture on the papers. This is very smooth papers, although that the color of the papers are a little bit to the yellow side, to the warm side than the cold side. That's not a big issue for me, but maybe some might find that they don't want to use this type of tone of colors. Now, my main tools for this type of drawings, definitely the pencil, mechanical pencil, 0.5 my preference with HP lead. I don't prefer to use regular ruler. Even in Islamic geometry, I prefer to use the square set in different sizes. This is, I think, 14 centimeters, the size of it. Because it allowed me to, especially when I draw the lines inside the circle, and it's the same thing for the Islamic geometry. First of all, give me more points for grip, like 3 or 4 fingers for the grip, so it will not move. The other thing is I rotate it very easily to, for example, if I want to do the same exercise with the rulers, I have to rotate a lot, and it doesn't give me that enough grip area. And they come in different sizes, like I have it in this is like 20 centimeters. I also have it in larger size. This is I think 22 or 24, something like this. So these are my tools. The other tool which I use but not as much, it depends on the drawing itself, the compass with the mechanical pencil. Although, frankly speaking, I'm not happy with the quality of this compass. This is my preferred compass, Linux. I have with this one for almost 6 or 7 years and still working fine. This is very nice, but in some areas inside this lock, it will not stay locked. It will move a little bit. You can see that the wheel is moving a little bit. If I can zoom under little for pressure, it moves a little bit. So this is not ideal for this type of drawing or any type of drawing. So the main tool I use is 360 degrees protractor. These are the most important tool for me for this type of drawings because they set the layout for the drawing. I have a couple of them here. I have different sizes also. What I look for always, the size of it should fit within the page. So I usually buy the sketchbooks based on the size of protractor, because this it's difficult to find protractor in different sizes. So I think they come in 8, 10 or something like this inches. They don't come in different sizes. This one little bit bigger, which I prefer to use, but this one has one drawback, which I can see here. If you can see that the numbers, like here from 10 to 20, the lines doesn't indicate the 15, the 5 marks between the angles. This is very critical for me, because what I do, like when I start drawing, usually what I do, I decide that if I want to divide the circle into number of angles, so I know that the equal number of angles I need to have marks. For example, if I need 10, 15, 20, so I can see that this is the identification for the 15 degrees. Another thing that I want, or another trick I want to share with you, I created this template for me. So almost 5 or 6 years back. I wrote down the number of section I usually divide the circle into. These are the most common numbers I use. I cannot remember that I used other than these. 6 section, 8 section, 9, 10, 12, 16, 18, 20, 24. Then under each one, the degrees are written. Like for 6, if I want to divide the circle into 6 sections, I have to make mark for the 60, 120, 180, up to the 360, which is the 0. This saves a lot of time, especially when I want to draw. I don't want to anything that comes into my creativity process. I use erasers, different types. I prefer this type of mono erasers. And recently I found, I don't know what is the name of this tool, but this is very helpful if you want to erase in small areas that you can. For example, if I want to erase in this area, I put the section, the hole on that area, then I can erase. I make sure that I am just erasing that tiny area. And this type of drawing, this is very critical. So let's start with a sample. As I said that before I start, I decide that sometimes I have an idea that what I want to do or where I want to start with. Let me put it in this way. One tip I want to mention that although these protractors are divided into angles, but many times you will find them that they are not so accurate. So don't count on the accuracy of these protractors. So for the sake of this one, I just want to divide this into 4 sections. So I put this template in front of me. I can see that for 24, I will follow this sequence: 15, 30, 45. So I'm adding 15 degrees. So this is why I said that this is much better than the other one, because in this one I don't have the identification for the 15 or 25. This make it easier for me and faster, so I can just put the marks. And the key thing here, you have to press, because sometimes some of the areas are will be left up when you are pressing in the opposite side. Frankly speaking, I don't find accuracy is a key thing for this type of drawing in terms of the end result. Yes, they are critical, that I have to consider the accuracy, but I am not paying a lot of attention to that. I need it to be 100% accurate. So this is something that it adds some touches to the end drawing. So as you can see that if I don't have the numbers in front of me, I will be calculating either using the calculator, which is most people will do, or I will have to calculate in my head. And sometimes when you make a mistake, you have to go back again and erase the point which you have drawn and start from scratch, which is sometimes very annoying, especially when you have a specific idea in your head and you want to execute it very fast. Before I used to have different type of sketchbook, which is larger in the size. I think it was 12 or 15 inches. Unfortunately, I don't find them. Even when I look online, they are always out of stock. So I just recently bought these small kind because I mentioned before in my other videos and in my Instagram that I didn't draw this type of geometric mandalas for a long time, so I was not keeping stock of sketchbooks. As I mentioned that I prefer to have square sketchbook because the end drawing will look nice in the center. Many times also I will be using A4 page if I don't have, just to set the layout or just to draw the idea. Then when I execute the final one, I will do it in this type of sketchbook. As you can see that here, usually I draw these lines in lighter. I don't press too much, but because for the sake of the video recording, I'm a little bit pressing harder. After this step, your creativity will start. So you have to identify where you want to go. What is the result you are looking for? In many cases, that when I draw the circles, or for example, if I'm planning to have something bigger than this one, I will just put the points and then I start with the compass and I draw bigger circle, then I connect the points to the bigger circle. Or if I want, for example, in this one to do all these type of sections which give the 3D effect after the coloring, I put the square set on the circle and the center, with the 0. Then I put some marks on the number of centimeters, like half centimeter or 1 centimeter. This allowed me to divide the circle into sections where I can also explore more. Like this one, which is not finished yet. This is something that I have done, but the calculation was wrong, so I have to start from scratch. So these are what I want to mention at the beginning. So now for this one, what I have in mind that I will connect the points, leaving 3 points from, like I will connect this one, I will leave 3 points, then I connect to the 4th one. Or sorry, I will connect to the second one, the 3rd. So I will leave 2, then I will connect. So this will give me some pattern to follow. I will show you what I mean once I finish this part. This video will not be covering the entire process. I'm just showing you where I start, and I will see I might do a follow-up video to show the progress, or if I finish the drawing without the recording, the video recording, I will post the end drawing on my Instagram page. also in my blog section in my website, which I want to also remind you that I recently started blogging on my website. So when this video will be live, you will find 2 blogs already published. They are I call them that the scripted version of these videos, where I put my thoughts in written format with some pictures, and I like to keep these videos like unplugged version of these blogs. So once you have decided on the pattern that you want to follow, and this comes with experimenting. I mean, you don't have to build something. You just need to try. It's all about trial and error. Then I can see that, okay, what type of shapes I can generate out of this one. So for example, I will focus on these intersections. Then I draw. Usually I draw very light lines because most of these lines will be erased, because when I start drawing this, as I said, I don't have any idea or the full idea about what is the end drawing will be. So you can see that there is some shapes have start to be created. Then I can also explore further. Now when I see this one, I can see that what is the next logical step which I will do. And don't be afraid that some of these ideas are repeated, or because this is only the beginning. You can add more lines based on what you see. Maybe someone will wonder why I didn't connect these 2 points directly. As I mentioned that, because many times that the protractor accuracy is not 100%. So if you do this, you might end up with the point ending up in the or the line and not connecting the 2 points you want to connect. Plus, when I do this type of drawings, usually I don't focus on the center, because usually the center will be erased, so the end result will not have any lines in the middle. This is what I prefer to do. This is the style I prefer to do, that to keep the center empty. Either I keep it blank or I fill it with the black color. Rarely I do this type of vortex effect in the middle, just to cover the center point. As you can see that now when this is finished, for example, now I can use the compass to draw. I'm just experimenting here. I have nothing in my mind. If I don't like the line, I can erase it. So just whatever that you feel that this will be the next logical step, you know. Now for me, that I can see that this line need to be erased. That's why I prefer to use this type of erasers. First of all, they don't leave a lot of dust behind them, or I don't know what is the called. The other thing that I can erase in tiny areas also, or maybe even I can delete this one. I'll erase this one. Now here is one idea that, or one tip I want to show you. To create this type of movement between the shapes and keep the movement lines consistent, I can treat this circle as the center point. Like when I used to connect these lines to the center point, for example, I can start with this one and connect it like this. So when I do this type of movement, you can see that, or this type of drawing, connection of lines, you can see that there is some movement happening in the drawing itself. That's why I don't plan for these geometric mandalas. And when I started, I remember I started this long time ago, I was not having any clue what I was drawing. I just find it very relaxing just to start with the circle, divide into sections and connect the dots and create some random shapes. It was something very sort of meditation. Then when I found the Islamic geometry, I started to focus more on the Islamic geometry because I found it more challenging because it has some rules, and but I really enjoy doing this because I find it like it is my own style. I create the shape, I can take credit of the end result, that this is my coming from my imagination. So as you can see, I'm just erasing few points. You can see that there is some movement happen. So if I want to create more dramatic movement, for example, I can use this circle. I can, for example, skip one point from here and connect this line here. So this second one. You can see that there is no specific process. It is based on what you see on the next to you. Then you can decide what is next. See that this one, for example, maybe I can erase this, or if I keep this one, I keep this as like the shaded area, you know. So all of this type of decision is taken after that. So I don't want to have this video to become 2 or 3 hours long video. This is only going through my process for this type of drawings, showing you what tools I'm usually using, and I hope that this short introduction or starting of the process give you some inspiration to start something. And I will appreciate if you share with me anything you have created based on this video, and you can leave comments in my video down, also in my Instagram page, which I will post this drawing, also in my blog section and my website. So thank you all for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.